In 2003, when I started running a game farm, it became apparent due to a drought just how dire the situation was within this community with regards to water. There were people, kids from 5-6 years of age, walking anything between 2 and 9 kilometers for some families to fetch water. Basically from that we started looking at how we could assist. And there were water resources up here, but it was how to make them accessible in a way that the community could afford and could, in a sustainable manner, something that they could run. The green tank in the valley here and the green tank right in the distance there are tanks that have never really had water in them. There's a pipeline that was put in with great intentions years ago to pipe water to these people, but it never happened. And what we're going to do today is put in a solar borehole pump with a tank that will be placed here in the next couple of days, and that tank will eventually supply water to those tanks. And this is a community that have no water. They have to walk right up over this mountain to the next valley to collect water, and within the next week that'll change, and hopefully change forever. The solar water system works beautifully for a number of reasons. It's green. The cost is the initial erection of it, but basically from there onwards there's not much extra cost. It suits these kind of boreholes in that you take small amounts of water over the entire day, as long as there's sunlight, which conserves the water resource. So you take small amounts over a long day and it just conserves the resource, which is also very, very important, while providing water for people without being overly expensive. The veggie garden was lovely arable land that the community would attempt to grow veggies on, but invariably cattle and goats would get in and eat their vegetables. And these vegetables would be grown during the rainy season, which haven't been very good for the last 9 years. Having had a couple of meetings with community members and community leaders, and it became apparent that the problem was keeping cattle and goats out. So it was a simple solution. I managed to source fencing and poles and all the stuff we needed to fence off this area. We fenced off 32 hectares, but the community are the ones who put the fencing up. And I think that's been key, because it's their project, their vegetable area. And then water's a problem, so we put a windmill in, found an existing borehole, put a windmill in, and we've put in 1.1 k's of pipeline and 4 tanks, which is now providing water for people to water their vegetables with during winter, when vegetables would normally not be grown due to a lack of water.
Size kakhulu usilethela ufefe nemndeni yethu, sithokozile ngisho nangaphesheya emasimini ethu siyalima kubiyekile, ngishiya inkomo aziko kudla.
We're sitting in the Umsinduz River, one of the valleys of the Bombo Mountains, and it is an unbelievably botanically rich area. And this is in peril at the moment due to Chromalina infestations that are just taking over the cliffs, the riverine areas, the grasslands, everything. And these grassland areas, for example, are very valuable to the community because that's their graze because they're pastoralists, herds of cattle and herds of goats. So we are assisting people to take their land back from this invasive species.
So probably about 10-12 years ago, what you're seeing here would have just been beautiful grassland and all these trees. And as you can see here now, the Chromalina has really just come in and taken over.
Chromalina odorata is a plant that has the ability to produce 1.4 million airborne seeds per year. And it has 2 common names, triffid weed and paraffin bush. And the triffid is in the day of the triffid. It takes over, it becomes the dominant species. And how it does that is it burns with the intense heat at the paraffin bush, which burns and damages any other indigenous vegetation. Another technique it uses is to put down hormones. It's allelopathic, and these hormones prevent any other indigenous seeds from growing. So eventually you go from beautiful indigenous bush to 90% Chromalina, and it won't change unless we do it. The Chromalina project is social, economic and environmental, and it is very transparent. There's no leakage, As we are self-funded, the trust is self-funded, we're looking for money purely to run these teams. And the money goes to salaries and tools. We're going to be in a position to clear thousands and thousands of hectares properly with the proper follow-ups. And it will change this area. The opportunities will, the potential of this area will be unlocked again.